at the beginning of free agency, we saw a lot of stuff happen, whatnot, just people that are trying to solidify places in their teams. We saw somebody like Tampa Bay. They picked up Baker Mayfield the last season, ended up taking him to the playoffs, beating the Eagles. So, hey, if he can do that, if he can get as many wins as Kirk Cousins did in 12 seasons in
Woof.
1 year,
Woof.
let's keep him.
Hate to
So
see
Baker
that.
Mayfield signs a 3-year contract with the Bucs. It's $100 million, but it can be up to 115 depending on his win situation and the incentives and stuff. Of course, he's got 50 million guaranteed with this contract. Since he won the NFC South last year, my question for you guys is: do you think Baker can take the Buccaneers to another NFC South championship run
Yes,
and win
because
it
the
again?
rest of the division is doo-doo. Like, I actually like the offseason the Panthers have had. I'm not going to predict them to win anything ever again because I predicted them to win the NFC South in my preseason article last year. Didn't go
Yeah, you
so
did.
well, so they're on my hit list. But and then no disrespect to the Saints, Connor, but I don't even know if they've done anything relevant other than release Slant Boy.
I can tell you what they've done.
Derek Carr is just a sad excuse for a starting quarterback. Their offense is horrible. Monsieur Allen down there is just not a good head coach. Like, there's so many problems in New Orleans. And then Atlanta, I mean, you know,
We're gonna get to Atlanta next, so
choking Kirk, we'll get there in a minute. But, Kirko chains, nope, I don't care.
big Kirko.
Yeah, no. The fact that the Falcons are like hyping this man up like that, no. Please stop yourself.
Okay.
I think the Bucs have the best coach in the division. I think the Bucs have the best quarterback in the division, and I think they're going to win the division. Really?
All right, this is where
Mr. Off the Achilles tear, Kirk Cousins. Really?
This is where I'm gonna interject. I think the Falcons got something good. I don't believe in the Saints at all. I'm not Drake. Derek Carr isn't it.
The Saints were number 2 in the division last year.
Yeah, they
you don't
shouldn't
believe
have
in them. They were one win away from
they-
winning the entire division.
Yeah.
Did they win? Did they win the division?
No, but
They
it's not.
didn't win the.
No.
Did they? You're not talking. I'm talking. Stop. Chill.
They did.
Saints ain't doing nothing. The Saints aren't going to do nothing.
That's disrespectful.
The Panthers. It's going to be. Well, it's crazy when the Panthers do better than the Saints this year. I'll say that right now.
You think a 5-win team is going to be better than the New Orleans?
Yep. I like Yasin's at the
Okay,
they low-key made some nice O-line additions.
They made some moves.
Okay, MJ. What's
their
defense look like? They traded away their best defensive player. What'd they get for it?
Listen,
you know what they got for it?
Scraps.
A 2nd-round pick and a 5th-round pick. Do you know
his more than the Bears going to get for Justin?
His contract was worth a number 1 D lineman in the entire league. So if you want to talk about offense, we can have a good offense. They're the pretty boys, but as Nate says, defense wins championships. Defense wins championships. And when you don't have a defense, you're not going to win anything.
Hey, let's talk about that Radio Shack mic real quick.
Continue. I need to get a mic.
Yeah, you need to get a lot, but that was.
Oh my gosh!
No, I think Atlanta's got something because yes, off the Achilles tear, Kirk Cousins. It's a question mark, but that's the only question mark they have in my eyes.
No, they have a lot of them. Why don't you let Connor ask his Atlanta question?
Oh, do you want me to ask my Atlanta question?
Since you have an Atlanta question, Sai's about to go on an Atlanta rant. Ask the Atlanta question, and Sai
it's about the trade that happened in Atlanta with the quarterback.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead.
It's just who won the trade, but it has Atlanta in it. But I'm going to talk about Kirko.
Okay.
Kirko chains. Okay. So let me get to my next one. So Atlanta gives Kirko chains, big Kirko, a 4-year, $180 million contract with $100 million guaranteed. Coming off an injury, has only won 1 playoff game in 12 seasons as a quarterback, which is iffy in my opinion. But I'm glad the Falcons did it, not us. So the Falcons have decided to completely restart their quarterback room. Okay, I don't know if they kept Taylor Heineke. I don't know what his contract was, but they signed Kirk Cousins. Well, they end up trading Desmond Ridder, who I actually wanted the Saints to draft whenever he was going into the draft. They trade him away to the Cardinals for Rondale Moore, wide receiver. Just a straight up trade, quarterback for wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, who won the trade? Where do we see these two players going? Is Rondale Moore going to be more beneficial to the Falcons, or is Desmond Ridder to the Cardinals? What do we see?
Well,
go ahead, son.
It's gonna for who won the trade. It's Atlanta. Rondale Moore is wide receiver. He's wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, depending on how you want to look at it. In Atlanta right now. Desmond Ridder's not touching the field unless Kyler gets injured. It's still Kyler Murray's job in Arizona. It's his job to lose. Ridder was going to ride the bench regardless, whether it's behind Kirk or whether it's behind Kyler. The fact that Arizona wanted to take a risk on him and see if he had something as a backup in case he has to come in for an injury, sort of like how Jacksonville traded for Mac Jones for a 6th-round pick. Like, Atlanta won that job. Rondale Moore and Darnell Mooney are going to fight for who's the wide receiver 2, who's wide receiver 3. Drake London's still the 1. Kyle Pitts is going to get targets. Bijan's still there. Tyler G is still there. Like, it's Atlanta won that pretty easily in my eyes.
Well, I tend to disagree, but I'm going to let what MJ say.
So I think this is a win-win for both teams, really. And it's, first of all, it's rare that you get a player-for-player straight-up trade in the NFL.
Yeah,
that rarely happens, especially quarterback for wide receiver. But I do think, and to your question, Connor, Taylor Heineke is still under contract in Atlanta. So you've already got a backup. And what NFL teams do a lot of the times is they want their backups to be similar play styles. Desmond Ridder is not the same play style as Kirk Cousins. Desmond Ridder is more similar, not saying he is the same type of player, he is more similar to Kyler Murray in Arizona. So with a quarterback like Kyler Murray, who does have a limited injury history, but a little bit of an injury history, I think that's a really good move for Arizona. Then on the Atlanta side, Drake London is their number 1 wide receiver. According to the press conference with Kirk Cousins, hopefully Kyle Pitts gets some more targets now, with Arthur Smith being gone as well. But then behind Drake London, all you had was Darnell Mooney. And so I think Rondale Moore and Darnell Mooney behind Drake London, I think that's a pretty good wide receiving trio. I really hope Drake London takes a step up because he's the only one that even has the capability of being a true wide receiver 1. I think he's got it in him. We're just going to have to see how that works. But Kirk Cousins always has a top wide receiver. And so if it's going to be anyone, it's going to be Drake London and or Kyle Pitts. I honestly think the biggest thing that they're missing right now is a blocking tight end behind Kyle Pitts. Because the way they use him is very similar to how the Chiefs use Travis Kelce, and the Chiefs always have multiple blocking tight ends on the roster behind Kelce. I think that's the biggest thing right now that offense is missing.
They traded for one.
They did?
Yeah, they traded 49ers. However you pronounce his last name, he's on the 49ers. His name's Charlie, like Warner or something.
Charlie Warner.
Oh, they got Charlie Warner?
They did.
Yeah.
So they have a
okay. So and that offensive line was good, was decent.
And Warner's on a cheap deal. It's 3 years, $12 million.
Okay. So I actually really like that offense. The defense, we've got some question marks. But they don't need to spend much draft capital on that offense at this point. So I think that's a really good deal for both sides. They've got Jesse Bates and AJ Terrell in the secondary. I'm not super familiar with their linebackers or defensive line, but I don't think it's like top tier. So that's where I would spend my money and the rest of my draft capital if I were Atlanta. But honestly, I'd give both teams a solid A on this deal. I like it.
Well, there's sometimes where I like to ask y'all questions, but I also like to, kind of answer myself.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cardinals won this trade big time. I think when you have a potential starting quarterback, and Desmond Ridder was a starter for the Falcons, so we can label it as potential. If Kyler Murray gets hurt, it is not going to be Clayton Tune that takes over for Kyler Murray. I will tell you that. It will be Desmond Ridder. Now, Rondale Moore, I just looked up his stats, and I thought, honestly, they were going to be a bit better than what I just saw. His last year, And even though he played only 13 games, I guess it was to injury, he only had 260 yards receiving for the Cardinals. That's not good. I mean, unless you see like a potential in this man, I don't see him touching the field. Now the Falcons just also got Ray McCloud, which is more of a special teams player. Whether they want to push him up in the wide receiver depth chart is I don't know. He's more of like a returner or
So he was with
the
49ers, and he was the main guy taking punt and kick returns.
Now I like Ray McCloud. Yeah, he was in Pittsburgh doing it as well. He went to Clemson. I like Ray McCloud, but I think 100%. I do not see this as a win-win trade. In my opinion, the Cardinals won this trade. No, I just told you. Rondale Moore had 260 yards in 13 games last year.
Rondale Moore.
That's bad. That is bad. I don't want him as my wide receiver.
Who was his quarterback?
It doesn't matter.
Had Clayton Tune.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
And
if you are,
you're saying the person throwing you the football doesn't matter.
If you are a wide receiver one, you should have more than 260.
He's not a wide receiver one.
He's not a one.
He's a three.
Who was one?
Hollywood Brown
no, Hollywood Brown was not in Arizona, was he?
Yeah.
Last year?
Yeah.
Okay, well then I guess he was number one. But look,
and then Trey McBride, their tight end was used as a 2 because that's what got rid of Zach
and
Ertz.
Michael Wilson.
But still, I don't like the trade.
Exactly.
I like Desmond Ridder. I think Desmond Ridder is. I don't know if he will eventually be a starter.
He will not.
I just see them being. I just see Cardinals winning this trade. I don't see Rondale Moore.
Brother, they're paying Kyler Murray a bag. And if anybody lost this trade, it's the Cardinals. They're already paying Kyler Murray a bag, and they got a quarterback that's going to want a bag later because he was a first-round pick. So, yeah, exactly what Jack said. Rondale Moore wasn't getting the targets. It's not that he shouldn't. It's that he wasn't. But it's because they had Clayton Tune and God knows who else.
I don't know.
Josh Dobbs was the starter for 6 games.
Yeah. Like, really? We're gonna do that. How did Jay Jettas look with Josh Dobbs?
He was hurt. He was hurt.
Not the whole time.
Just about. I mean, he didn't really have a lot of time with him.
Okay, how did Jay Jettas look with Nick Mullins?
I don't know how many games he played. I can't answer that question.
Oh my gosh.
Next question.
Next question.
Stop. Next question.
Well, we have our opinions. I just like Desmond Ridder. For some reason, I just like him.
For some reason, you like Jaden Daniels more than Caleb Williams.
It ain't for some reason. It's a very good reason.
Not doing
it's for reasons you can't actually articulate.
I've articulated them very well.
You ain't articulating nothing.
So. I believe so. Even Ben Kirk's on my side. Let's go, Kurt.
Okay, but at least Kurt actually watched film.
Yeah.
I watch game. You know what film is, MJ? Snippets of a game. I don't need to watch film if I watch football.
Okay, then why can't you tell me anything?
I have.
That Jaden Daniels does better than Caleb Williams.
I have. But we're not getting on this. This is a.
All you said was Caleb Williams was bad against top 25 teams. You couldn't give me a single attribute, single quality.
This is a pre-draft.
You're like Jaden Daniels is that guy.
He is that guy.
He's that guy, MJ.
We're gonna watch.
He's so talented. He is the best quarterback in that draft. At least Kurt can actually talk about, okay, this is their pocket presence. This is how they read this defense. This is their arm strength. This is their ability to make this throw inside, outside, vertical, underneath. What'd you say? Hey, yo, Jaden Daniels' counting stats were awesome, brother. They were so good.
I said a lot more than that, MJ. But this is
I will go back. I will go back and watch that show tonight and clip it.
I've said a lot of stuff about Jaden Daniels on
the show's already on YouTube that we're talking about.
You don't watch it, so
the full 30-minute clip is already on YouTube of you guys arguing over this, and you were right. Like, okay, Connor, respectfully, Connor, just you're wrong. And if you're right in 5 years, awesome. You're right in 5 years. Right now, though, you are dead wrong.
I'm wrong
Jaden
about
Daniels
what?
is the third QB in the
speculation. I'm wrong about speculation. What am I wrong about?
No, you're wrong for so you just said it. You're speculating. You just said
I'm saying y'all are speculating.
No, you just said it.
I'm saying
your exact words were just,
I'm saying
wrong
I am
for speculating
wrong because of y'all's speculation.
That's not what you said.
That is what
That's
I
not
am
what you said.
referring to.
That's not what you said.
I cannot see. Yeah. Jack says fire. I can't be fired up because my Radio Shack mic.
No,
you're getting fried. You're not getting
fried.
I will
not getting fired up.
I can't. My Radio Shack mic will go crazy.
That's fine. For people who don't believe us, go back and watch the video from the Senior Bowl week in Mobile. We talked about this, and I love Connor with all my heart. We ripped into shreds a little bit.
Yeah, y'all did.
About not being able to articulate. And
if you want me to articulate it, I will come back before the draft, and I will get you everything that your little heart desires.
Connor,
to make this
how about this? We will schedule a special show, just you and me.
I'm in there too.
Where you and I can in depth and bring evidence and examples about why we like Caleb Williams versus Jaden Daniels, and I will give you your full opportunity to give me the film, give me the numbers, give me the data, and we can actually discuss. Because I would like to hear your intelligent thoughts. But you haven't given me the intelligent ones. You've just given me the biased SEC crap.
I need to get the numbers.
Yeah.
In order to
help
my argument.
Yes.
And I will.
We'll do our research. We'll get this scheduled. But for now, go back and watch us fry him on Senior Bowl week. Anyway, go ahead.
I will get back there. Yes, views are views. I don't care if you go watch me get fried. It doesn't bother me as long as you're watching it. That's all I care about.
Oh, look at him. That's a look at him.
What a guy.
What a man.
Let's get to the
That's why we're repping the Reese's hat today. I just knew.
I didn't realize it.
I just knew this was going to be talked about. We were repping from the get-go.
I love the Reese's hat, honestly. The only thing I didn't love was them caramel Reese's cups. Some things were like diabetes.
You're a fraud. You don't know what you're talking about.
You know what I do love? 462,000 views on a tweet.
Hey,
did you get that?
Yeah, just today.
Yeah,
like a high tweet. He went from like 40K
stable person. Okay. After this, we're going to talk about the Aaron Rodgers thing. So
yes,
we're gonna talk about that.
Yes, we are.
Go ahead, Connor. Last one.
I would love for y'all to talk about how people would. Well, never mind. I don't want to say that.
Yeah,
I guess that's too political.
Next question.
I don't want to say that.
I'll get political in a little bit. Don't worry about it.
Okay, good. If you'll talk about what I'm thinking about, I'll put it in the
probably.
Yeah. Okay. So this is why I saved this one for last, because I think this is probably the most interesting one, especially because I saw this man's potential. I don't know if y'all saw it or y'all agree with me, but the Commanders are doing away with their starting quarterback from their past year. The Seahawks are giving them a 3rd and 5th round, both 3rd and 5th round picks for Sam Howell, a 4th and a 6th, which I think is highway robbery in my opinion, because I think his numbers were better. I mean, they're better than a 3rd and 5th in my opinion, but I don't know what y'all think. So is Howell a starter in Seattle? Does he pass up Geno? Because we know you have a Geno effect. They have that team-friendly deal with Geno. If he were to go back to his bad, I will say bad because they were bad. If he goes back to his bad starting abilities, they will have another quarterback in his place. Well, they lost Drew Lock. Of course, they had to get somebody there. So Howell starts in Seattle, but the Commanders are definitely drafting a QB at number 2. My question for y'all is, who's at number 2? Who's going at number 2?
Go ahead, Cy, because I'm going to make him mad.
I know. From what I heard, from what I've been hearing at the little bit of the Senior Bowl, what's up, Riley? From what I've been hearing at the Senior Bowl and at the Combine, Drake May is going to. I do not see in any shape, way, or form Jane Daniels is not going to go 3. It's going to be Drake May. He is QB2 in the class. I'm sorry to break it to you.
I like Drake May. I like Drake May. I honestly think Drake May might be better than Caleb Williams. So that's another story.
What are you talking? Nah. You can't just say nonsense and expect to get away with it. it's Drake May. Drake May is going too.
I like Drake May.
Especially with Sam Howell gone, they won't have two Tar Heels in the same room.
And that was yep.
So
that was what we had talked about. Yeah,
that's why I didn't have him going to Commanders, because it might be bad for the.
But they were
the locker room and stuff.
It wouldn't. My one thing I will say to that is, it wouldn't have been. Thank you, Jack. I agree, but it wouldn't have been bad for the locker room
Twitter.
Because it wouldn't have been bad for the locker room because, frankly enough, they knew each other from college. They are best friends to this day. It would have been like good friendly competition. But with Sam Howell gone, it's Drake May 100%. Unless for some godforsaken reason, Caleb Williams doesn't go 1. That's the only shape, way, and form that Drake May doesn't go 2. Is if Caleb Williams was there. But Caleb Williams is going 1. Hate to be that guy. So that's what I got. And to go crazy. I already know what you're gonna do. So just start talking.
No, so there are so many things here. First, let's just start with number 1, because I think that from everything I have heard, and I know I'm not very popular these days in the Chicago Bears community, which is fine.
They don't like you.
1.2 million views. Suck it.
There he goes.
That's tough. I mean, and I got the money right, so that's, you just hate to see that. Caleb Williams is going number 1. I understand Justin Fields hasn't been traded yet, and I'm gonna shout out a specific idiot that I saw on Twitter today. Where are you? Oh, there we go. Justin Fields fan club at Justin Fields FC on Twitter said, anyone that doesn't see what is truly happening is delusional. Justin Fields is the Bears QB1. The Commanders are trading up to number 1. Let me just, and I agree in theory that the Commanders could trade up to number 1. They have, I think this idiot posted the picks too. I forget where it was, but I believe they have 5 picks in the top 80. The Commanders do. So if anybody has the ammunition to go up, and it would only be a spot. So Jack can tell me in the comments what the number value would have to be. I don't know what picks the Commanders would have to give up. But in theory, if the Bears wanted to be stupid and take the worst passer in the NFL from 2023 and build around him, they could do it. But that, I think, is way more likely. And that's not even likely. It's way more likely than Justin Fields staying. I think it would be hilarious. Just imagine Justin Fields and Aaron Jones beating up on the Bears while on the Vikings. That would feed families.
I hope so. If they draft Caleb Williams, I honestly hope so.
That would feed families. So then let's look at number 2, right? You have to look at the type of quarterback that runs the type of system that they are in. And now I'm not going to lie, Jaden Daniels does fit because Eric Bieniemy is gone, but there's still going to be some hints of his offense in Washington. It's really hard for me to figure out who they're going to pick it to. If I had to put money on it right now, it would be Drake May. And I think it's going to be one of those Zach Wilson situations, honestly, where they're going to convince themselves that it's Drake May, and then somebody like Jaden Daniels, like Justin Fields did, is going to fall to somebody in maybe the late 8 or so, or early teens. I don't know if they're going to take Jaden Daniels. I would not, and I think that's what Jack wants. But Jacoby Brissett is in New England.
Yeah.
If I were New England, I wouldn't be mad at drafting Marvin Harrison Jr., who you know what you're getting, and let those guys go at it. I don't know. I think 2 and 3 are the most interesting picks of the draft. I don't think 1 is a question. I think 2 and 3 are the most interesting picks in the draft.
I think 1's a question.
I know you think 1's a question.
We already know.
And I that's what's wrong. That's what's wrong with society.
It's not that I think Caleb Williams is bad. I think he'll be bad on the Bears. I just
Okay.
don't like him in Chicago.
So here's my only thing, Connor.
I just don't like him in Chicago.
I agree that the Bears ruin quarterbacks, right?
I think he'll get ruined there.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. Like, you and I agree on that. Let's be clear. But I need you to understand this. The career suicide that it would be, and I know I've said this before and you disagree, but I have to say it again. The career suicide that it would be for Ryan Poles to trade the number 1 overall pick 2 years in a row.
Can't do it.
They have
what
to.
If he doesn't
can't do it.
What?
What if he doesn't?
Oh my! Because you think they're going to take.
You
think they're going to take Marvin Harrison 1. That's not happening.
What if they do?
I mean, that's still.
What if they keep Fields? They don't
I think that's equally career suicide.
Mm-hmm.
You have to,
because you could trade down to. You could trade down.
Yeah, because if you're not going to take a quarterback, you have to trade down.
Mm-hmm.
There's no. You can't sell. This isn't draft day with Kevin Costner. You can't sell taking Mac at number 1 and then doing some hooky pooky stuff and getting back to number 5 to get Marvin. No. We're not doing that around here.
Like I know that Poles has pick 9, and who knows what he's going to do with pick 9. He could try to trade up.
I was going to say he could.
He could try to put a package together to get both Caleb and Marvin Harrison.
It'd be crazy. Yeah, just screw it. The Commanders want all the draft picks in the world. You trade 9 and whatever you need to do to go get Marvin Harrison at 2. Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison to the moon.
That would be
to the moon.
Ugh.
If that's the case, then
ew.
I just don't like.
I don't even know if the Bears could ruin that, brother.
Outside of pick 9, the Bears' draft stock isn't great. They don't have a second this year because they get up for second for Montez Sweat. They have, I think it's like a third and.
Honestly, I would trade my first next year for Marvin Harrison.
I would just draft Marvin Harrison.
Okay, well, that's career. As MJ said, that is career.
That is career. Like,
Poles has already messed up once. He's already on it.
I mean, you need a wide receiver. If you don't get one,
you need a quarterback.
You need a quarterback more.
Connor. I need you to look me in the eyes and understand this. Okay? Do you know some of the quarterbacks who had a better quarterback rating and completion percentage last year than Justin Fields? Just let these names sink in before you say any more stupid stuff. Tommy DeVito had a higher completion percentage and quarterback rating and QBR than Justin Fields last year. Aiden O'Connell had a higher
less games too, so I mean
Aiden O'Connell was the starter the majority of the year.
But they had probably significantly less games played than Justin Fields did. Justin Fields played.
So
okay, yeah, they did, but how does that?
Joe Flacco, your pretty boy, almost threw for more yards than Justin Fields did, and Joe Flacco played 5 games?
Like 6 or 7 games.
Justin Fields is not an NFL quarterback. Like,
I'm not advocating for him.
That's why teams only use him as a backup.
I'm advocating. That's why
he's going to get a third-round pick at best for him.
I'm advocating that they keep him for 1 more year and then fix their quarterback situation the next year.
Who's the next year's quarterback class that's better than Caleb Williams? Nobody.
But
there's a lot of good people in there.
No. Incorrect. False.
No, there's not.
I like a lot of them.
Okay, they're not better than
you were about to say Shedeur Sanders, weren't you?
Yes,
I was going to say
he was.
Quinn Ewers.
You were about to say
Quinn
Sanders too.
All right.
Get out of here.
We'll go back to this. Ryan Poles could do that. You're right. And then his replacement is going to draft a quarterback. Because he is not okay. I don't care if he's a better scrambler. That's not his job as a quarterback. That's an added benefit. You want to know why the Ravens won more games this year? Because Lamar Jackson learned how to throw out of the pocket. You can ask Nate when he comes on in 45 minutes. What is your job as an NFL quarterback? Throw in the pocket. Patrick Mahomes is incredible. He's a really good creator outside of the pocket. You know what he's the best at in the NFL? Throwing in the pocket. Ryan Poles should have been fired already. You're correct. And it is a guaranteed firing at the end of 2024 if he does not draft a quarterback at number 1. It doesn't have to be Caleb Williams. It has to be a quarterback.
But
it is It is just, and Connor, I'm not saying this solely from my personal opinion. I'm saying this from talking to people who are much smarter than me in the football world, knowing that it is career suicide for Ryan Poles to not draft a quarterback.
I don't think.
I'm not saying they have to
Sanders
trade
is
Justin
even top
Field.
5 next year in college football quarterbacks. I'm just going to be honest with you.
That's that. The point is going so far over your head.
But I get what you're saying. It's career suicide if he doesn't pick the needs of Chicago. And the number one need, might I add, is what everyone's saying is a quarterback. And I agree. Right. You need a quarterback. I don't think Justin Fields is your answer. But you have a chance to get the best offensive and defensive player in the draft. Is that better than drafting what you think might be generational talent in a quarterback?
I swear I'm going to have to be Bruce today. Connor, what's the most important position in football?
It's a quarterback, 100%.
What do you do with the number 1 overall pick?
You might draft a quarterback, but
no,
what do you do? What do you do with the number 1 overall pick?
The Bears went to a Super Bowl without a quarterback.
So you're telling me that the Bears defense right now is Super Bowl ready?
I'm telling you that if it's been done before, it can be done again.
You're telling me that the Bears defense right now is Super Bowl ready?
I think it can be.
It's a yes or no question.
I think it can be.
It's a yes or no question.
It is very possible.
It's a yes or no question.
A Super Bowl defense.
It's a yes or no question. How are you over here saying it's very possible? Are you okay in the head?
I think they have a good defensive end. They just got Jalen Johnson back. I think that was good. They still have Tyreek Stevenson, right, in their secondary.
Yeah.
They need to address their safety. They just got rid of Eddie Jackson. I don't know who they have at safety. They got Jonathan Owens now, right?
Yeah, they got Simone Biles.
I don't think that he's amazing by any means. I don't think he's amazing.
He's not good.
But you have a chance to get Dallas Turner, who I think is very, very capable of being a star on that defense. And if you can get him and you can get a star like Marvin Harrison Jr., I don't think that's career suicide. I think Justin Fields can throw him the ball. DJ Moore had over 1,000 yards this season. If DJ Moore can get over 1,000 yards in the season,
did they win football games?
Marvin Harrison can. No, but 7 is better than what they won before, so it's an improvement.
Yippee!
If you build around, I mean, it doesn't happen overnight.
Man, we're in the playoffs though.
Overnight. So you went from 7 wins. What did they have the year before? 4?
Yeah.
Let's say they get 3 more this year. That's a playoff spot. You just won yourself a playoff spot.
Okay. Connor, now I'm going to turn into Nate. What's the point of playing football?
To win championships.
And who gives you a better chance to win a championship? A quarterback or a edge rusher?
Or edge rusher and wide receiver.
No, they're going to draft a wide receiver either way, right? I think we all agree on that.
I think they will. I don't know who.
So who gives you a better chance to win a Super Bowl? A quarterback or an edge rusher? So then why don't you take a quarterback?
Connor, they don't need to draft Marvin Harrison at 1. This wide receiver class is good.
Shut up, Jack.
You can get Dante or you can get Neighbors at 9, and both are arguably in that same level as Marvin Harrison. If you're the Bears and you're number 1,
that's where I disagree with you, Si.
Okay, I don't care to disagree. I think
what he means
the potential of Marvin Harris. Not even the quarterbacks have.
I think what he means is in another draft class, those guys are the top wide receivers.
That's what I mean.
Like in a normal draft class without
Harrison
once in a 30
is a generational talent. I understand that.
Yes, a receiver has been drafted number 1 overall for the record.
Boo-hoo, that's not.
They have. And it can happen again. It can happen again. I need Nate on here. Can I bring Nate on here?
No.